Hey guys, welcome back to the New Eden Open. I'm CCP Rise with CCP Fozzie, and this is Raging Homo Sapiens versus Asine Hitama's team. This is, of course, a match on the losers bracket side, so whoever loses this is out. And you're looking at the first showing of one of the newest ships in EVE Online.
The Stratios, and one of the prettiest ships in EVE Online as well. That is a gorgeous, gorgeous ship. Asine Hitama's team has brought a setup unlike anything that we've seen from them before. It's Balgorn, double Brutix Navy issue, a Neros, Algos, triple Punisher. And then Raging Homo Sapiens have brought Eos and Neros, double Stratios, double Vexor, and Ishkur. The Stratios in this setup, it looks like they're autocannon fit, if I can see from the guns. Those do look like 425s.
Could be.
Those are autocannons, yeah.
Yeah.
And so they are going to be not worrying about that optimal bonus for lasers. They're going to be in here to conserve the cap, basically, which is going to be very, very valuable against a Balgorn.
Yeah. A lot of damage, actually, on both sides. Brutix Navy issues have been a choice through a lot of the tournament. And I actually like the setup a lot from Raging Homo Sapiens. There's a ton of damage there, a lot of drone-based damage, and then, of course, turrets on both the Stratiuses and the Vexors. It looks like... Is anybody charging in? But Asine Hitama's team is going pretty fast. Looks like they're going to be the aggressor
cautious,
here.
Though. They're not going directly at them, it looks like. It looks like they're trying to loop around. So what we're seeing from Raging Homo Sapiens is they came in with most of their team at max range at 50, but they put their Stratioses up ahead to screen, which is very smart. Stratioses are very hard to kill because of that bonus to armor resists, and just the large amount of hit points they have in general being a pirate faction ship.
They're just going straight for him. Balgorn just charging straight ahead. It looks like they're sort of zeroed in on the back line rather than on the Stratioses. The Stratioses are kind of turning to the side.
So now we're going to see how well those Stratioses handle their screening. They should have tackle, like you said, with all those mid slots. They really should be able to get some webs and scrams in there. And what they need to do is protect their Aneros, because that Balgorn getting his newts on the Aneros will be a very, very bad thing for Raging Homo Sapiens.
You see tracking disruptors hitting a Brutix Navy issue already. That's one thing that's strong about bringing the Stratioses as well as the Vexors is, again, those mids. Having a lot of utility available. It looks like they're going straight after the Eos
What do you think about this primary choice, Rise? They're putting everything, newts, webs, the long-range webs from the Balgorn, everything onto the Eos.
I think maybe the thinking is because of the Balgorn, they can break pretty much anything pretty quickly. Maybe just go for the links first and kind of help yourself out in the long game by getting him off the field early. But I don't know. That's definitely their toughest tank.
It's a lot of hit points to eat through, and the Brutix Navy issue that's taking fire has less resist, so it's going to actually be a lot easier to kill. We are seeing newts from these Stratioses.
Yep.
So the Stratioses are autocannon newt fit. It's actually, I think, a very strong fit for the tournament. It does a lot of things, has a lot of utility, and that's the kind of thing you need when you have limited numbers of ships.
And both teams ignoring the logistics for now. No damps really coming from either side, which means they don't really have any way to get the Oneros close, so they're just going to hang out outside and continue to drop reps. And for now, anyway...
Navy issue is dying a lot faster.
Yeah, I was going to say the Eos is tanking just fine, despite all the damage and the newts from the Balgorn. He's got no problem at all for now, so...
I mean, if the Vexors are within range, they seem like a much better target than the Eos, if you can get the long-range webs on them. I don't know what Asine Hitama's team was really kind of going for with that. Now they're switching one of the Stratioses. Again, not the greatest choice. If you have the option of one of the Vexors, that obviously the Aneros would be the best target, but that Aneros is playing it smart, is not going to be in close. They have no damps to push the Aneros in close, so they just can't get it. So they're going for what they can, and none of their options are very good. I mean,
the Stratios will have a lot more tank than the Vexors. It's surprising because the damage isn't all that much higher.
Where the Vexors are in relation to everyone else?
I know.
Are they on top of them? Like you normally expect them to be.
That's true. They might not be.
Nope, they are. They're right there. They're
right
in the middle there. They are. All right. We are seeing now some damage being applied to one of the Vexors, but it's going to be too little, too late. The Brutix Navy issue of Kalish there for Asine Hitama's team is going to drop. This is a very, very big momentum push for Raging Homo Sapiens. This is going to give them a lot more damage on the field between the Vexors and Eos and the Stratioses. That Brutix Navy issue is kind of a really important part of the damage for the Asine Hitama's team. They don't have a lot of damaged ships. They really just have the two Brutix Navy issues in the Balgorn.
It's also really bad news because they were already unable to break a tank. I mean, they need to be able to break through something, and now without one of those primary damage ships, it's going to be that much harder.
And Raging Homo Sapiens going for, again, the perfect correct target, the next Brutix Navy issue. They're going to take all of the damage off the field, and once those Brutix Navy issues are down, they will just have free reign to finish off the rest of this team.
Man, that is really interesting that they went for that choice. It also is a little bit surprising to me that they wouldn't have tried harder to put pressure on the Oneros. They have the stronger support wing because of having 3 Punishers and an Algos. They also have a Balgorn, which means they have long-range webs. And if they can get any tackle on him, they can move the Balgorn there potentially and just newt him out right away. So Definitely a strange choice to go for the EOS of all things. I mean,
Yeah.
I would think at least a Vexor to start with would have been better.
So they charged right through the middle of the Raging Homo sapiens team, right through the line there, right past the Stratioses. I'm wondering if they actually were kind of hoping to get to the Aneros, but then as they saw webs being applied to their team, they realized, all right, we can't do that, and they made a last-minute call, a call right before. It probably would have been smarter to go for the Vexors, but they just saw, okay, the EOS is there, we can get it, we can knock out the Lynx, and they just went for that. It's possible that this may be a case where Asine Hitama essentially lost the match by trying to rush in when there was no rush. They didn't have to get this match underway quickly. Neither team can apply very good well, the Stratioses can apply pretty decent long-range damage if they are sentry fit, but still it should be tankable by the Asine Hitama team.
Ships dying left and right, of course. That second Brutix did go down for Asine Hitama team, and all 3 Punishers are dead now. The Algos is tackled. Looks like they're going to start chipping away at the Balgorn next. Clearly a really strong win for Homo sapiens here.
This is just going to be cleanup for the Raging Homo sapiens. And the Stratios' first appearance in an official League tournament.
Strong one.
Doing very well. I mean, they tanked under all this pressure, which is, of course, what you are bringing them in to do, is to be a ship that is very hard to kill. And then they just do a lot of things. They're going to be applying some of the neutralizing pressure. They're sitting there tackling. They did a great job of screening. They got the tackle on the opposing ships, and they're fast enough that it would have been a bit of a challenge to kind of loop around them with Brutix Navy issues, for instance. So I think they did exactly what they were brought here to do, and that gave the Raging Homo sapiens a very, very decisive victory.
I wonder if one of the reasons that Asine Hitama has decided to charge in early, like you said, we've seen most teams kind of take their time and be a little more methodical, and I wonder if they thought that because of the Balgorn, they were going to be better off getting things started as fast as possible. It's kind of more of a long game ship, and if they think that if we just sort of slowly work our way over there over several minutes, we're going to end up missing out on some of the advantage the Balgorn offers. And maybe they were just a little too optimistic about being able to tank, you know, all this damage coming from the Homo sapien side. But either way, it did not work out, and now the Homo sapien team just cleaning up.
They may have also been worried about this team being a pure kiting setup. Because it is capable of using sentries, so you can use sentries with Stratioses and Vexors. You'd usually be better off with something like Gila's, but they did drop heavy drones, so this is a closer range.
I was going to say again, we saw yesterday at the end of the day the Warlords team using Vexors that had the highest potential damage setup with the heavy drones and medium drones, and Homo sapiens has done the exact same thing here. No sentries on the field at all for them, just as much damage as possible. It's just a really, really, really in-your-face kind of setup.
Yeah, I think one of the hints that might have given Asine Hitama's team the indication that it wasn't a kiting team was that they didn't pull everything all the way back to max range when they warped in. They had the Stratioses up front. I think that's a sign that these Stratioses are built for brawling rather than built for kiting. But either way, whatever the choices they made did not get them to the right result. They are not going to kill a single ship here. And Raging Homo sapiens are surprising me by continuing further in. This is the Born to Kill Corp guys. They're former members of AAA and NC Dot, now LOSEC residents, I believe. And this is, I believe, their first tournament performance, at least as a unit. And they're doing a really great job with it.
They are. And that finishes this one. Raging Homo sapiens moving ahead. Asine Hitama's former NEO champions exiting the NEO2. And we'll be back in just a sec.